Welcome back to another episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center podcast studio. Got an outstanding show for you guys today. Going to talk about the Bucs, what went wrong against the Bears, where they go from here, and getting some quarterback talk and injury talk and all kinds of other stuff. If you're looking for a car, pre-owned or new, go hit up Matt Bowers. He'll get you the best prices, locations all over the place. Tell him I know I've sent you. And if you want to celebrate your fandom beyond the field, Keesler Federal is proud to be the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. They're a not-for-profit organization, meaning their members always come first. You can get lower fees, better rates, and everything else Saints fans need to help you get one step closer to living your dreams. Keesler Federal, the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. First topic today, presented by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Do injuries change the approach to the Saints 2025 season? Erik McCoy got hurt, done for the year, biceps. Kendra Miller got hurt, ACL, done for the year. Where does it go from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a funny question because I think the natural answer would be yes. Like, all right, you're 1-6 now, and Erik McCoy just got hurt. We ranked him as the second best player on the whole team heading into this season. We saw what happened to their team when he went down last year. They went from a contender to one of the worst teams in the league. You'd have to reassess and be like, all right, look where we are now. We got to stop trying to win this year, and we got to think about the future. But I think they've mostly already been doing that. Like, what will change? I mean, I guess the questions are, we're going to talk about quarterback in the next segment. The trade deadline, does this make you like become total all-out sellers now? I kind of think since they were already in this like they know where they exist and they're thinking about the future and they're putting Danny Stutzman in games and they're putting Quincy Riley in games. I kind of feel like we're not going to see drastic changes because of this. I don't know that all of a sudden you now sell two more players that you weren't going to sell at the trade deadline, but there's at least no pretending now. I mean, however they decide to approach it, they 100% are a team that is taking this year to rebuild.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think long-term too, though. I think there's a long-term element to this, and you know, I hate to even bring this into the conversation, but I think it's a real thing at this point. I mean, Kendra Miller's a guy that's been injury prone. I don't think you can really build around him at this point, and decisions I think are made there. Incredibly talented player, but it's just something that happened. This one, I think it's just bad luck, but it's just kind of to the point now where you got to look at your future running back, and I don't know that he's the guy you're envisioning your future around. Maybe you weren't 5 days ago, but you definitely aren't now. And I think you got to find out an answer there. And then also, Erik McCoy's missed 29 games over the last 5 years now. That's a lot of football games. That's almost 2 full seasons out of the last 5 seasons. What do you do there? Like, do you start looking for another answer at center? Do you, as a young rebuilding team? I don't know what you do there, but I know that him getting hurt now, it sets back your team in a way. And you got very young players on that line. You're the anchor point of that line. I don't know that your plan B is obviously not as good as your plan A. I don't know what you do there. Yeah. It's a tricky situation because he's your best player in the league. He's probably your best player on the team. He's probably the best center in the league. But it's just become a reality where now it's like he's going to miss 5-10 games every year. And that's tough. That's a tough place to be.
Yeah, look, we can't say enough good things about Erik McCoy. So we're going to have a smart conversation about what a rebuilding team does, the same way we've had these conversations about Demario Davis and Alvin Kamara. I mean, he's in that group of, like, Taysom Hill, like iconic players who, don't necessarily fit the current situation. I don't think you have to do anything right away because he's got 2 years left on his deal at $10 million a year. That's a little high for a rebuilding team, but it's not outrageously high. And as we've said, I mean, if Demario Davis isn't going to be around forever, Tyrann Mathieu already retired, Cam Jordan's not going to be around. I don't mind having some veterans in the building while this team rebuilds who can show them the way. And I don't mind paying that price for Erik McCoy to be in my building. Hell, if it was a coaching salary, not to mention that hopefully he can come back from this. He just turned 28. Hopefully he can come back from this and be good. And it's not like I'm going to take a center in the first round of next year's draft and maybe not the second round of next year's draft, because that position has to get in line behind 5 other positions that they desperately need to fill. So like, I don't think there's a what do we do here situation. Like, you keep him until you find his replacement, but, you don't extend him before those 2 years are up. And if a center is available with the 33rd pick in next year's draft that you think is going to be an all-pro, you have to consider it. He's now reached one of those. He was somewhere in between. He was maybe on a short list of like, all right, you've got Kelvin Banks, you've got Tali Fawaga, you've got McCoy for a few more years, and now your future is absolutely uncertain there. No question about it.
Yeah, I don't want to draft a center at 33rd.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to draft a center at 33rd. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem paying him. It's just the fact that like the injury thing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it's a very big deal. It's very tough to build around. You're trying to build something with a young quarterback, trying to get someone that can help him with the protection. And if you're playing like, if he's going to be the guy now, it almost becomes like a situation where you have to invest something significant, I think, to backstop that, because it's about the young quarterback. It's about the young tackles. It's not like you're paying. I have no problem paying anyone any amount of money. Like you want to pay him that much money, you got a rookie quarterback salary. Who cares? Like, fine, pay him. It doesn't matter. Your money's got to go somewhere, but he's got to be on the field. Like that's the big thing here. I don't know how you weigh that into the conversation. He's, again, arguably the best player on your team. I think undoubtedly the best center in the league, if not the best, like top 3, no question about it. And that's a position that's rapidly deteriorating over time too. I don't know that you go out and you find the institutional knowledge like from the college ranks, the way people play in college now. So I don't know. I don't know what you do there, but I know it's a very difficult situation, and I think it's something you got to talk. Like 29 games in 5 years is, man, that's literally 2 seasons of football. That is a lot. It's a lot. You still got him in your building though. Like there's still value there, but like it's just the reality is that his body's betraying him at this point.
It's such a shame. I mean, it's sort of like subtly creeped into the Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk, Michael Thomas area of, man, this is one of the better players they've had in a decade, and it's getting sapped away from them. That really sucks. This year, like I don't think they have to, I don't know what you necessarily do in reaction, but this absolutely hurts the young quarterbacks the same way the conversation we were having about whether, if you traded away Chris Olave and now you're not giving your young quarterbacks any receivers, how can you watch them develop? This stinks for Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck or, evaluating quarterbacks, trying to have a functional offense and seeing what they can do. Like that's just as big a blow to these quarterbacks as taking Chris Olave out of the equation would be. And I mean, man, so we knew they weren't going to win a lot of games this year. We definitely know they aren't going to win a lot of games this year now, but the quarterback evaluation is going to be harder without, the offensive line being able to hold up the way it did with him there. Yeah,
it's a blow for Banks and Foy. It's a blow for everybody. All right. Moving on to the next topic, presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Kind of a really interesting thing this week. Kellen Moore was asked if Spencer Rattler was going to be a starter this week. He said yes. Then he was asked if he needs to get a look at Tyler Shuck. He said it's a week-to-week thing. Previously, it was, we're not doing that. The quarterback's the quarterback. That's the guy. Major shift in tone on that one, coming off a game where Rattler threw 3 interceptions, had a fumble, had 2 other turnover-worthy throws. Is Rattler on the clock?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to try to parse words that Kellen Moore says because we haven't completely learned everything he says and everything he means yet. And I think 90% of the time he's just trying to get out of the question as quickly as possible. And I think that was part of that. But week to week is, that's not just us play. I mean, that phrase means week to week. Like we're going to reevaluate this next week. We're going to reevaluate it the week after that. So my guess is Rattler has still earned enough to have multiple weeks left that he's not like one more game and you're gone, buddies type of thing. I don't think that's the messaging that came with that. But I think it absolutely makes it clear that they've had conversations, they've had thoughts, and they're going to have conversations about at some point this season we need to get a look at the backup quarterback too. I mean, I think it's the 1 in 6 as much as it's the 4 turnovers. It lets you know that he would have given a different answer if they had decided to redshirt Tyler Shuck this season.
I don't think Kellen Moore's an idiot, so I'm not going to talk about him like he's an idiot. He already got in trouble for this once with Derek Carr when he gave a wishy-washy answer on it and then had to come back and effusively say, hey, he's my guy. He knows the situation. He knows the questions. He knows where they're at. He's coming in there and saying he's week to week. I'm not going to call him an idiot and say he did it again and he can't learn from a mistake. Like we see he has a penalty, he fixes the penalty. He fixes his mistakes. That's purposeful. I threw him an alley-oop on it to start. Hey, look, do you have to tell Spencer not to look over his shoulder when he has a game like that? He didn't say yes. He kind of just talked his way around it, and it was iffy or whatever. Like just kind of, oh no, like we all got to get better on offense. It was nothing about like no, he's good.
Yeah,
it was an alley-oop to say that. Then Seth Lewis comes in. Hey, is he starting this week? Yes. And then the question, it was like maybe not the next one, but the one after that was, do you have to get a look at Tyler Shuck? He knew where the room was going. It wasn't. He got caught off guard. It was 3 questions into a series of questions about are you backing your quarterback? And on the very last one, he decided to say it's week to week. So that's purposeful. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. So yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think obviously it is. Look, I thought it was impossible for Rattler to kind of walk into like a meltdown type game, and it was. There's meltdown elements in this. I don't know that it was meltdown all the way because I think very weird game because on one side it's like these are 5 very bad moments, and then on the other side it's man, these are 5 very good moments. The 21-yard touchdown, the other touchdown to Olave, throw up the seam, like the like he had a handful of moments in this game that I thought were pretty good. Also, I don't think you just throw a guy out after one bad game. Like, I just don't think you do. It's Dennis Allen. We watched him do this for a decade. He's taken apart Tom Brady. Tom Brady's spiking iPads multiple times on the sidelines. That happens. Like people have those types of games. Baker Mayfield, that was like the most frustrating game I've ever seen last night going against the Lions. Like they're incredibly tough defense. Like sometimes you walk into a trap. I think there's value in that though. Like how does he respond to this? I think we saw him respond to it in the game. He had like 4 yards of total offense at some point in the first half. We're making jokes on the stream. Hey, they're going to get over 20. They got on the field and score, like open it up, kind of solve the defense. He didn't lose his head there in that game. But I think, how do you come back from terrible spots? How do you respond to adversity? That's a huge part of playing quarterback because these are going to come throughout the season. Now he has the opportunity to do it. But I think realistically, like, yeah, that is a crossroads type game where I think if you're Kellen and you're Nussmeier and you're Mickey and whoever else is part of that decision, I don't think Mickey's part of it, but if you're evaluating it, it's like, hey, how does he come back from this? And now I think doors open. Yeah. Okay, only won 1 game to this point. Can't beat the Bears. Tough start to this. What does he have to do to get it going? And if he doesn't, when do we make? I think you're starting to have those conversations. I think you have to.
I think the toughest thing for Rattler, for evaluating Rattler in this game, and again, my bet is that history, after a few more weeks, we look at this as the one singular, like, worst game, the one bad game. Like, I don't think this proves that this is the real Rattler or anything like that. But what was so frustrating about it is, as good as he was playing in the first 6 weeks, the one sort of asterisk was, but I would like them to take more chances. Like, yeah, now you've proven you can go through 6 weeks with only 1 turnover, but can you make the big plays? And unfortunately, in the game where they tried to make the big plays and needed to make the big plays, that's when all those turnovers came. And so that all of a sudden is like, all right, now I think the onus on him now is to prove, no, I can make those plays. It is not going to be a turnover every time I try to air it out. It's not going to be a turnover every time I'm down 20-0 and try to bring a team back. That's what he's going to have to prove. And now he's going to play Tampa Bay and the Rams in the next 2 weeks. And might be faced with similar situations. So all of a sudden, pressure that felt like it was weeks and weeks away does feel a little immediate for him.
On the turnovers, the first one was the one that probably bothered me the most because it was a behind him type of throw, and we saw him like miss a touchdown.
Well, the first one was the fumble on the second play of the game.
I'm talking about the picks. Like the behind him throw is the one that bothered me the most because we've seen him miss that throw a few times. The second one on the scramble drill, that's the type of pick where I was like, I don't care. Like if you have a couple where you're trying to figure out how to make stuff happen, it felt like he's seen something way quicker. Byard's like way over in the middle of the field. Shaheed's kind of like not all the way into it. Like he's pointing, trying to get him to go. That's one where I think you make a mistake and you go back and say, hey, look, this is what we need to do, correct it. Maybe those two get on the same page next time that happens. And it's like, when that's going, just get up and go. Just get up and go. Like, they've been struggling with that scramble drill all season. Yeah. That's kind of part of it. That's a mistake where I'm like, that's correctable. The last one thrown into like 5 guys in coverage was crazy. Like that
on fourth down after his primary got taken out. Yeah, that
can't happen though. Like, it's just like you're not even taking a chance there. You're just giving the ball away. Like that's a tough one there. But look, the 21-yard like touchdown to Olave, a great throw, gets it over the linebacker. Chris, great moment for him, goes up and gets it, throws it with the anticipation. Like, he's at the 10 when the ball's coming out, meets him in the end zone. The other one, like, really nice design by Kellen. He hits him over in the other corner. Like, these are throws we want to see him make too. So there's good in this game. There's bad in this game. Got to see where it goes from here. See how the development goes. And we'll see. And look, I think the weirdest thing going in sports is that everything has to be like once. It's like politics now, especially like let's just see how it goes. Let's see how it develops. Maybe he bounces back from it. Maybe he doesn't. You know, I think there's evidence that it could go one way and there's evidence that it can go another. You know, if you want to be concerned, I think the 2 times that we've seen them in a situation where they got behind, Seattle and now this game, like, you see these turnover-worthy plays go way up, and that's just, there's more on the quarterback. There's more that's got to happen. If you're looking for bad, they aren't hitting the third downs. They're kind of trying to cheat their way around them. Running the ball on the 3rd and 8 was insane to me. I have no idea why they did that. But is it about the quarterback, or is it just the play calling was weird there? You're looking for good. Red zone got better this week. Some of the throws down the field, he stayed and battled. But I think you got to see these types of situations where it goes. And I think the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot placed on the quarterback, and we will see how he responds. We're going to hit a quick break, and we'll be right back. Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center is proud to team up with the NFL and the New Orleans Saints Crucial Catch mission to tackle cancer and save lives. Together, they're helping more people access the tools needed to detect cancer early and promoting prevention and early detection. Learn more at ochsner.org/endcancer.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number 1 grocery store
in Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
I used a home equity loan from Keystone Federal to fix up the garage. Because living your dream means living your way. And the kids take the field.
It's not even game day.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. I don't play favorites with our sponsors on the show, but one of my favorites for sure is RV Masters. You guys have been watching our show lately and you've seen our awesome new van. That thing is decked out. And the best part about it is I took it up to RV Masters and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it or how to get it done. And they took care of it from start to finish, brought me out for updates, were giving me new ideas, and they made it exceed my wildest dreams. And they will do the same thing for you. RV Masters offers full service RV, motorhome, and travel trailer repair. They have preventative maintenance and service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. They'll take care of you if you get into a collision. Whatever you need, they got you. And I can speak from experience because they definitely had us on our new van. I cannot vouch for anyone more than I vouch for RV Masters. RV-Masters.com. Go check them out.
I believe it, I can see it. If it's in my sights, I achieve it. Ain't no leaving, no defeating. Show up, complete, and repeat it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Yeah, they want me to quit, I can't stop it. I'm out of this world, I'm like a rocket. And you can never be us. We not afraid of the pressure, cause we good in the clutch. Yeah.
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency, is a longtime partner on this podcast, but the truth is, I was advertising them to my friends and everybody I knew long before they ever jumped on this show. And I'm going to tell you why. Every 6 months, my car insurance policy comes up, and every 6 months, I get a call from somebody from there telling me I need to change it or stay where I'm at. They're shopping my policy constantly to make sure I am getting the best possible deal. That means money in the bank. And those are the type of people you love, because look, we all live here. We all know how it is. The insurance rates are out of control. You need somebody watching your back, and they actually really do it. And I was with them before they ever asked me to be with them. So they are people that you need to be doing business with. And if you are going to look up their insurance, make sure you are looking for the Earhart Agency. Those are our guys. There's a lot of Shawbear insurances. The Earhart Agency is the one you want. I can speak for them. Real life, real support, real good business, real money saved. Call them up today. Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County Peach Whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86-proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. All right, welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. Our next topic is presented by Aaron Rose. Word is out that the Saints are discussing a contract extension with Chris Olave. Name is also circling a little bit in the trade market. See how it kind of goes from here. Do you think it makes sense to extend Chris right now?
I don't think it makes sense for either side. I think the report is genuine in the sense that they've been, Chris Olave acknowledged it after the game and said, yeah, we've been talking about it all year long. But in the next breath, he said, and like I said back in May, he basically said, I don't want to sign a contract extension right now. I know what my value is after last season, and I need to prove that my value should be in the upper tier. But I think the reason the extension talks are noteworthy is because there was so much smoke about trade talks. And I do believe both are still possible, but I think the Saints would be leaning more toward the no, we want Chris to be part of our future than the no, we're eager to hurry up and trade Chris for whatever we can get department. But look, the Saints need to see it for more than 6 weeks after the concussions knocked out his season last year. And Chris isn't going to sign an extension based on what a team is going to offer him today. He believes that he should be out there doing the exact same things that like Ohio State teammates like Jackson Smith and Jigba and Garrett Wilson are out there doing. And by the end of this season, he should be in a different financial threshold. And the Saints should be perfectly happy to let this play out for a while because they don't want to rush in any decisions there. They don't know what their team makeup is going to be. So I don't see why it would behoove either side to do this quickly unless there's like some kind of major hometown discount involved and Chris wants the security or whatever. But I'd be very surprised if that's on the threshold. But I do think it's a promising sign that they're not looking to trade him for anything.
I think there's a scenario where it makes a lot of sense for both sides. Actually, like if Chris is at all worried about the next hit, like it makes all the sense in the world to sign the contract today to make sure you're getting your money. That should be the thing that's keeping the Saints away from doing the deal. Like if they have concerns, that should be their concern.
Yeah.
And that would be the reason that Chris would want to do it. I think for the Saints, it makes a ton of sense to do it if you feel okay about the injury aspect of it, because I think you get him for way less money today than you do down the road. And you also find out if he wants to be in on it. And if you're starting and rebooting and you're trying to do this, rebuild, you probably want to trade him sooner than later to get maximum value back. And you kind of have all your pieces aligned. If you're Kellen Moore, if he doesn't want to be part of it, like that's where it kind of becomes interesting. Because like Kellen needs to probably start be rounding towards winning in 28. Like you get this year is all the patience in the world. Next year, some noise starts if things aren't going the right direction. Year 3, If your thing isn't turned around by like week 6, like that's where people are like going crazy. So I don't know where that timeline goes. Like I don't know if you would want to swap out a guy and have like the receiver you're building around on the team next year, so that by that next year you're kind of rounding fully into shape. I don't know where you're at on it. But if I'm Chris and I feel good about my health and I'm not worried about it, there's absolutely zero chance I'm signing that deal right now. And I would actually probably kind of be, I don't know. I wouldn't, like, if I feel good about my health, I wouldn't feel bad about getting traded necessarily either. I think if you're on another team, your upside is probably higher. And especially if there's a possibility of a quarterback switch on the horizon, what's to say the next guy gets you the ball as well as the first guy? And now you're wasting time and games go and you get in these contract negotiations and, there isn't, like, the context gets stripped out of like absolutely everything. Like even last week, like, oh, he dropped 3 passes. Like, well, like one of them was a 3rd and 17. He went and took the ball away from a guy, and like you're trying to kill him for that. But like nobody, there's just not a lot of context in things. But yeah, if like there's a downturn with the quarterback play and you have a 850-yard season, that goes against you. That isn't. Well, like there's all this nuance and the conversation. No, they just hammer you for it and say, hey, you aren't Garrett Wilson. Like that's how they're going to play it. So if I were him, like there's a path where I would want it and I'd want out. And if there's the Saints, there's a path where I'd want it and I wouldn't want it at the same time. Yeah. I think it's extremely complicated. I don't think it's simple at all because of the health element of it. I think is the thing in the middle of the room that everybody should be is kind of circling around. And it's like, how do you feel about it on both sides? But if I'm Chris and I'm confident, zero chance I sign a contract.
Well, yeah, the reason that you make an obvious good point with the Saints having some motivation, but the reason that I kind of dismiss the idea of the Saints being eager to sign the extension is because they have to probably like their position, which is they get him for $15.5 million next year. He, their 5th-year option, he can't walk away from. And then if by then he has turned into the superstar receiver, then they can franchise him for around $25 million. So you've kind of got control of him for the next 3 years. I'm not sure that they probably feel pretty good about like knowing that they have controlled salary on him for 3 years. So that's the only reason why I don't think they need to be in a hurry. But you're absolutely right that if Chris lives up to his potential consistently, the number goes way, way up. But I don't think he wants to give them a discount right now. So that's why I don't think it would happen.
Well, I would assume they're the ones like pushing for the deal. Like if Chris doesn't want to sign a deal, I don't think the push would be coming from his side, would it?
No, I don't think so. And I mean, that's why I think he said, yeah, we've talked about extensions, but like I said at the beginning of the year, I want to go out and prove myself first and prove I'm one of those guys. So that right there makes me signal that he doesn't have like a $30 million 5 year, 5 years, $150 million on the table right now.
All right. We'll see how that one goes. It'll be interesting to see. Look, also there's also, again, the element of like the word being out there that you want to keep a guy makes it,
of course,
a little bit harder for someone to take him from you. So maybe you can up your price a little bit instead of being in a position where like you have to trade the guy and people try to kill you for that. All right.
Either way, huge game for him as a reminder of, in case anyone was doubting it, like this is the special talent that we've always been talking about. And yeah, hopefully for him, for the Saints, there's more of those to come. That was a big game for him, a big, like necessary, like reminder moment for him.
Yeah. I don't think he needs those, but like the fans are out of control. All right. Moving on to the next topic presented by Shawberry Insurance. Run defense was absolutely awful in this game 2 weeks in a row. We've seen the defense be broken. It was the pass defense before. It's the run defense this week. They aren't really doing anything well. Broad topic thoughts on just where the defense exists right now.
I mean, the run defense in particular is the biggest disappointment of the season for me. I like definitely wrong, definitely freezing cold takes. If you go back and find probably multiple shows where I said it, where there were a lot of areas I didn't know if this team was going to get better. And I said, but the one area where they will get better is run defense. I thought Staley's defense, the addition of Godshaw, the addition of Justin Reed, the linebackers being, proven guys in this league. And then they added another one in the draft and Stutzman, who looks like a player. Like I thought they had fixed and the fact that they had one of the worst run defenses in the league the last couple of years. I thought, okay, that's an area where they're going to get better. I can't believe that was the worst area of their team on the field in Chicago. It's one of the worst areas of their team overall this season. They're leading the NFL in missed tackles. Like, I didn't expect that. And you know, we expected some of the growing pains we're seeing from the offense. We knew they didn't have, you know, proven corners. They're young at corner, and we wanted to see those guys grow and develop. I thought the run defense was going to be something they were going to count on, and huge blow to this team that it's one of the worst elements of their team.
One of the biggest issues with Staley's defense in Los Angeles was run defense. And you go back through and you look at the data and kind of, you know, some of the commentary and all that stuff. And one of the big issues was yards before contact. And they allowed 133 yards before contact in this game. Like, it's just kind of, this isn't new. You know, this isn't necessarily new. These are you're kind of seeing some of the same problems that, you know, I think have shown up before. There's just like a little bit too much space in places. I think obviously I think there's talent issues, but like you just got and you got guys in wrong gaps and just kind of just issues just all over the place, missing tackles. So it isn't just like all that. Like, I think it's just that there's a colossal, just a lot of things going wrong right now for that group. But that is something that was a huge issue. 133 yards before contact. I mean, I bet there's multiple teams this week that didn't rush for 133 yards overall. Like the Saints being one.
Like the Saints, yeah.
Yes. 133 yards before contact. Like gaping holes. I was going through it and watching it, and there was one play where Swift got 15 yards and he absolutely hit the wrong hole. Like he had a wide open hole going right up the middle of the scheme. Probably could have scored a touchdown. Instead, he bounces it left and he still gets like 11 yards before getting hit. Like, it's just like, take your pick on holes. Like one, it's just, it was crazy. It was hard to watch. It's a little broken right now. Like the defense as a whole, like everything's too easy. There's not a lot of resistance. The easy first downs, the space that people have to operate in. It's tough. It's tough, man. Like, and you got these young QBs, like that's an area that's got to be tight. And again, I think there's a talent issue, but I just also think that there's just kind of issues right now that they got to tighten up overall.
It was a real shame in that game in particular because I thought the one reason the Saints always felt like they were slightly in it was because Caleb Williams was not having a good day.
Yes,
they were befuddling Caleb Williams. I mean, like, I forgot Rome Odunze was on the Bears. I forgot DJ Moore was on the Bears. Like, their passing game was doing nothing. So if you could stop the run a little bit, you would have been forcing this team to punt or forcing Caleb Williams to maybe make a mistake on 3rd and long. And the last 35 minutes of that game or whatever, they allowed the Bears to comfortably just run the ball and kind of run out the clock for the whole second half on them.
Game was done by like 2:59. Like, it was crazy. Like that one run they had where it was like in the red zone and like he just dragged like a pile of like 7 people to the 1 yard line was one of the most bullying moments I ever seen. Like that was like the teeth got kicked in that game. That's tough. That's a tough one to stomach if you're on that defense. All right, we're gonna hit a break and we'll be back with the Get Gordon question of the day. Big news from the home team. Introducing our newest sponsor, the Mortgage Brothers. With over 30 years of combined experience, the Mortgage Brothers are the quarterbacks of home lending, calling the right plays to get you across the goal line. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned vet, they'll coach you through every down and make sure you feel like part of the team. They're backed by Cross Country Mortgage, the #1 retail lender in the nation, so there's no loan playbook they can't run. FHA, VA, conventional, RD, and more. They're lifelong season ticket holders, local guys who know the field and your market. And their online application takes less than 10 minutes. Why fumble your mortgage with some online lender who's never even watched your team play? Stick with the Mortgage Brothers, the trusted pros who play to win. Mention NOF and get $500 back in lender credit toward your closing costs. That's money back in your pocket when it counts. Visit mortgagebros.money and start shopping with confidence. Because with Mortgage Brothers, it's always no flags, no fumbles, just smooth closings every single time.
Score big with kickoff combos at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company. Don't pass on your choice of our seafood combos or our slider specials. Served with a side of garlic herb fries. Run in now for specials starting at $9.99 at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, Just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolets, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Whether you are a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre- and post-game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day. Presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you need help, you get in a car wreck, whatever you need, make sure you get Gordon. Question today comes from Beanland. He said, does the rebuild look worse than you had originally thought? About halfway through the season here, 7 games in. Nice little checkpoint here. Where are you at?
No, I mean, obviously, there's kind of like a cold water on your face, wake up to harsh reality. This is going to take a long time. I think I recognized that all along. I mean, the only guys I was really counting on to be for sure part of the rebuild when this season started were like Banks and Fuaga and hopefully McKinstry, and then a bunch of question marks. And I still feel pretty good about Banks and Fuaga. I'm a little torn on McKinstry. He's had highs and lows. I still think he can be part of it. And I'm actually a little up on the rookie class even more than I thought I would be, even though I don't think those guys are like game-changing talents. I think they'll be part of whatever their future is. So I think if you weren't paying close attention, you now realize how far away and how long this is going to take. But I don't necessarily think there's anything like, you know, if Kelvin Banks was having a lousy season or something, I'd feel worse. I think I'd probably feel about the same, but my same is this is going to take a long time.
I don't know where I'm at on it, if it's better or worse or the same or wherever it's at. I mean, I think some things I'm better on, some things I'm worse on, some things I'm the same on. I will say that like the idealistic, hey, these guys are going to emerge and hit, like I don't think any of those have really happened to the point where I feel like they have guys on Pro Bowl pass or anything like that to where they become big-time game changers. I will give them, like, the two things I feel good about are both tackles, so I'll give them that. They have that going. I think they have a safety that's a long-term starter, so they got 3 guys that I feel really good about, you know, as far as going forward. But, I mean, I think you could say they need a QB. That's one major need. They need a running back or 2. That's another one. We're at 2 guys, 2 starters. A wide receiver they need, that's 3. A tight end, that's 4. They need a guard, that's 5. I think they need a defensive tackle, that's 6 starters. A defensive end, 7. Probably a cornerback, 8. It's not good. Like, it's not good. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they got to get right. I'm with you though. Like, I feel like there's some stuff in this draft class. Like, I feel like they got guys that are actually going to be part of their team for a while. I don't know how much or how little. You know, I was looking around the locker room yesterday and just kind of looking and just thinking, like, how many of these guys are actually going to be here next year? And there's like 42 new guys on the team this year. I think the turnover is as significant next year. Oh, they need a kicker. Let's add that to the list. I think they need a punter. That's another one. Like, there's a lot of holes. Like, I think half your starters like need to be replaced with better players, or it's just a tough place to exist. You know, I don't like Justin Reed's missing a lot of tackles. Like, I thought that was going to be like a super sure spot. I thought Godshaw was going to be a good player. That hasn't hit. So like, even you get into some of that depth, like there's some aspects of it going good. I would say like beyond like, I feel like the whole receiver room needs to be remade. Like the Vele trade hasn't hit. The whole tight end group needs to be remade. Like, I just don't know that you're getting production really kind of anywhere. And like now shoot center, like your center's hurt. Like that could be that could be a need, like on the list, whether it's now or later. Like it's a significant rebuild. But you know what changes it? Like if you go into this draft, or if Spencer elevates or Shuck elevates, like if you have a quarterback, all of a sudden like it feels different. If you get a game changer somewhere, like it feels different. But like I don't know what would change my overall feel of the rebuild. Like you got to have the quarterback, and I know everyone's always like, do you do this first or that second? I think you just get them when you get them, and when you got them, you got them. I don't think the Patriots were ready for Drake May, but they sure are now. Like, so that feels like it's just one position where I don't feel like you wait. I think you just strike on your opportunity. Like it's like, the guy trying to set up, I want to get the house, I want to get the car, I want to get the job, I want to get the career, but like, man, if you go to the bar and you got $12 in your pocket and the pretty girl smiles at you from across the room, like, you just go for it. You don't wait and say, oh, I'm not going to respond to that. Like, I think it's just like when that shows up, you hit it. But like, man, there is a lot of work to do here.
Great analogy there. You brought up the Patriots, and that was the point I was going to make too. Look, it's dark if you look at every position and you're like, don't have this, don't have this, don't have this. But the bright side argument, easier said than done, is I look at the Patriots, I look at the Texans or whatever teams that turn around quickly. If you get over the next 2 years, if you get a quarterback, maybe that quarterback is in-house. We're not going to dismiss that. But if you get the quarterback you feel good about and one other blue chip, like if you have Drake May and Christian Gonzalez, like nobody knew the other 51 players on the Patriots, but they had Drake May and Christian Gonzalez, and they lured the best coach in football that was available because of those two pieces alone. So if you feel good about your quarterback, whether you have to add him in the next draft or develop one of the guys in-house, and you also get, a number 2 pick in a draft or a number 4 pick in a draft or two of those guys, all of a sudden everything else will look complimentary. So that's where they have to hit. They're about to be in territory they've never been. Kelvin Banks was an 8th pick. Maybe he can be a part of it. And maybe they're going to have a 4th pick and a 2nd pick too over the next 2 years. You better feel better about the team after that. That's for sure.
The one thing that makes me feel okay about it is that I actually think they have a coach that can make a quarterback play better than other coaches would. And that's a huge piece of it. Like, I think Houston's a great example of that. Like Stroud's kind of like struggling a little bit, and like he wasn't before. Like, so I think you get some, and obviously that's a guy that's shown us he can play in the league. I think Bill Walsh used to always say, like, look, once they show you they can play, it's your job not to screw it up. Like, I think they got a guy that can not screw it up with the quarterback, which is huge. Like, I don't think a lot of people have that. So that would be one piece. Now he's got to find whether it's gaining confidence in one of the guys he already has or somebody else, a player that he's willing to throw beyond the sticks with on 3rd and 9. Like, that's what you got to find. And once you have that, maybe it's the structure around the quarterback, whatever it is, whatever you got to do to get there. Once we see that, I will feel better about where the rebuild's at. Running on like 3rd and 8 like they did was, might as well just
trick plays on 3rd and 20, because he, like, speaking Kellen Moore, when he's like, unfortunately, we don't think we can throw the ball deep on 3rd and 20, so we had to try a trick play.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We'll talk to you guys next time.